past 2 years, I feel like I have asked, when will there be good news? Far too many times. Reading so much news about the great struggles of the world, I find myself feeling sadder and more anxious. And there is a lot of research that shows that hearing consistently negative news increases stress. And for people who live with trauma, it can even re-traumatize them. And there is a lot to worry about in the world right now. And at times I have had to consciously choose to reduce the amount of news that I engage with. Not because I want to deny that difficult reality that exists, but because my mental and emotional health needs to balance that tough news, the sad news, with good news. As people of the chalice, we try to see life clearly and not hide from its harshest truths. And it's also vital for our spirits to seek the good as well. As you usually are optimistic, we believe we can work for a better world. We believe that people are inherently good. And so we need to see examples of all of that, examples of improvement. American media creator John Green says, a lot of times good news happens slowly and bad news happens all at once. And so we tend to focus on the bad news that's crashing over us in waves, and not on the slow, long-term work that people are doing together to try and make a better world for us to share. Isn't it wonderful to have breaking news that is good news? And the news that we've been hearing today comes from websites like the Good News Network and Positive News. And these news sites intentionally celebrate the helpers, the activists, the innovations that are making life better in ways large and small. They even share the occasional cute kitten video. And these are places that remind us of the slow, quiet good, which is part of reality too, that even when times are tough, good persists. American writer Dr. Maya Angelou says, it's helpful to remember that in crises, human beings forget a while their ignorances, their biases, their prejudices. For a little while, neighbors help neighbors and strangers help strangers. As Charlotte said earlier, truly good news is the news of people helping people, people who honor and strengthen our interdependence, who know we are all one. The positive news I appreciate most are those ones about people who respond in compassionate and imaginative ways to big issues like rising inequality or climate change. Good news shows us that there are always positive ways forward. There's always room for hope. And I know that my spirit lightens when I hear positive actions by others. And it reminds me that living to my ideals is possible. I'm reassured that my values are shared by thousands of others. And research shows that people who regularly hear good news are less stressed and anxious than people who listen only to typical news broadcasts. Amplifying positive news balances out those tough headlines. And if there is good news you particularly wish for, remember your own power. What can you do to help get there? The choices we make in our lives help bring those good news headlines into being, slowly and quietly over time. We can help create the world we want. We can continue to find ways to dismantle oppression, nurture inclusion, reduce carbon emissions, and take care of one another. We can continue to find joy and delight in this terrible, beautiful world. And so in the days to come, I encourage you to share any good news you may have or hear with those around you. See if anything changes when you share good stories, amplify the positive, and ask others for their good news. And if they don't have any, be present and listen to the sorrow. We will need to always keep balancing, seeing the struggles, being present in the pain, and celebrating all the good that persists. Even in crisis, a better world is possible, and our choices can help bring it forth. So let's keep the good news flowing. So say we all.